Yes? Oh, yes. You're the prodigy. I was expecting something else. I hope you're aware of what you're getting yourself into. Our novices trained for years for this trial. And as much as I respect the Grand Master, I think this... In other words, it will be dangerous. Be aware of that. How selfless of you! Then it seems I'm granted the extraordinary honor of exalting the first pathless in the history of the Order to a keeper. The others will scream for joy. Give me the package the Grandmaster gave you, and say hello to your new comrades. I have to go prepare something.
I don't want to hear it. You're prattling. I don't want to hear it. Just shove off. Heretic, get lost.
What? Oh, you're our unexpected addition, aren't you? The prodigy? It does, actually. I'm Kalia Sakaresh, by my path novice and aspirant to the first sigil. I have been told what you did in Old Rashengrad, that you saved the excavations and fought back the mercenaries all on your own. An astonishing feat, truly. You have my respect for that. Well, as long as you handle it as well as you did in Old Rashengrad, that's not a bad... You know, I'm really curious as to what the mercenaries thought they were doing. Someone willing to attack the Holy Order is either extremely powerful or extremely naive. Anyway, it's been an honor to meet you in person. Let's talk later.
All right, enough of the chatter. Come here. Here. These potions will be necessary later, so be careful with them. Apart from that, it's still a few miles to the ritual place. As you're all gifted with magic, the spores in the forest ahead will make you a little dizzy, but we won't stay for long. Any questions? Long story. Simply put, they come from a special kind of mushroom that has infested this So, in case you're thinking about exploring further, take some magical protection and some ambrosia with you. Good. Stay close to me. But it's too late for that now. Korek would have conquered the city. Instead, you will be ashamed.
So this is the Whispering Forest. Fascinating. I've read a lot about it, but never actually seen it.
Poor thing. My brothers and I have seen the border countless many times before. But I bet you know all about the Undercity's rat holes instead.
Get ready. That's all you got?
That was creepy.
Wait, do you see that?
Yes, that man. What is he doing?
Who cares? He's probably just a traveler.
He shouldn't be here. No merchant in his right mind would voluntarily travel through the Whispering Forest. We'll go take a look at him. Stay ready.
She's with me now. Forever.
Kirosh!
What? You there? Who are you? And what are you doing here?
She's with me now. Forever.
What are you, deaf? Identify yourself!
His eyes. Master, this is the Red Madness.
Shit, of course. You will put away that pickaxe right now, my sir, and then get on your knees.
She wanted to leave. Don't you understand? She wanted to leave me. Just like that.
This is
But now,
disgusting.
She will stay. She broke out.
By the righteous path! Have you lost your mind?
I ask you the same thing, damn it! Did you forget what Magister Yarrow did to the novices? This man could have attacked us at any moment.
Oh, really? Malphus, protect us from your cunning! But did the thought ever cross your mind that one needs to understand a disease in order to heal it? And that some apothecary might have given their left hand for a living patient?
You're not being fair, Master. I was only protecting us.
Like heck you did! You behaved like an idiot! And not for the first time! The other masters might ignore that fact due to your religious commitment and your bloodline, I get that. But if something like this ever happens again, you will be suspended from the rites and will spend the rest of your life polishing prayer banks in the sanctum. Do I... myself clear?
He really was trying to protect us, Master. Maybe...
Do I make myself clear?
You do, Master. And I beg your forgiveness for my offense.
Granted. Now let's push on. We will take care of the body after the ritual.
Are you okay?
Just save it.
Here it is. the first foothold. This is where Malthus's vassals erected their first camp, so behave yourselves accordingly. You too, Prodigy. Well then, before we start, there's something I need to tell you. Something, important. The rumors concerning the deaths of the Lightborn, they're true.
What?
The gods are dead. They fell 2 winters ago, beneath the sword of an unknown traveler. We, that is, the Order, have known about this for quite some time now, but haven't told the common people yet. But since the 3 of you intend to take the trial, there's no way to disguise the truth anymore.
But how can a god die?
There was a prophecy, as old as the Lightborn themselves, in which there was talk of a shadow god, who would end the era of gods. And it came true. I'm sorry.
You're sorry?
You're telling us that the gods have been killed, and you are sorry. What's next? That tomorrow the sun will stop shining? Tell us that this is a test, Master. It is, isn't it? A test of our faith.
No, the Lightborn are dead. But, hard as it may be to accept, we cannot afford to fall into a spiritual crisis right now.
The Order of the Gods, Malthus's order, was created to protect the Lightborn. And if what you're saying, this blasphemy is true, then we're meaningless. We failed, don't you see that? Oh, by the Black Guardian, I just can't believe it.
And though I shan't be seen, thou shalt live by my virtue. 3rd Revelation, verse 137. I know it's hard, Dunwar, but if this is true, we have to show strength and keep on believing in what the Lightborn stood for, which is the idea of peace and...
Oh, just shut your mouth, Sakaresh. If anything, you lowborn scum are living proof that the Order is going downhill. Do you really think I don't know about the village? You're a damned witch, and if this were the old times, you would have been crucified long time ago.
You don't mean that, Dunwar.
Drop it, for heaven's sake! We're all on the same side here.
No, we are not. This wench doesn't have any right to wear the white robes. And if you would spend more time with the Holy Scriptures instead of your brandy bottle, you would see it as well. But no, you just...
Shut up! I swear to you, one more word and you will wish that I just suspended you.
But...
No buts! Do you understand?
Yes.
I hope so, for your sake. Just be glad that this is a time when we need skilled mages more than ever. Just be glad. Now enough of this. Our demeanor defiles this sacred place. There will be enough time for depression and personal crisis after the trial. Let's recite the holy words. Thou art my light, my glimmer at the horizon. Thy name is my sacrament, and thy path I will honor. In life, as in death.
May your light guide me.
Good. As you know, this trial will test the fortitude of your spirit. Because this is what, distinguishes a keeper from a soldier. What distinguishes a wise man from a fool. Keep that in mind. Now, drink the potion I gave you. You first, Prodigy. Let's hope the Grand Master was right about you.
Oh no. No. I knew I wouldn't be the last one. Did they also tell you that I've lured you into a trap, you know? And you fell for it. Because you're arrogant. Just as I am. As I was. I know I'm not real. At least not according to your definition. But then again, if I told you that you and your friend Sirius actually lie dead at the bottom of the sea, and that everything that has happened so far, the answer is no. Because you don't want to be dead. Therefore, your mind will do anything to make you believe this entire dream you... Doesn't it? Tell me, what is time to the dead and dreaming anyway? The last second before the water floods into you. A self-created sanctuary built from nothing but your wishes. But what's the point in talking anyway? You don't want to believe me. And I'm tired of trying to make you. What? They haven't told you about him? Oh, that's so typical. The Suppressor. He's the reason why we will be imprisoned here forever. And why we can't access our... And... You know, sometimes I wonder if that's exactly what we humans... What I... But no. No, not yet. It's too early to surrender. And isn't that what makes us human, anyway? Yeah, I'll wait. What the? How did you do that? You simply opened it? Come on. We... By the gods! These are the scourges of the Suppressor! They want to punish... This is so wrong. And right. At the same time. I know we can't escape, but you just have to get him inside. The suppressor. Well, it's dead. It's so cold. Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to go out. After all, I mean, yeah. Yes, the cell is small, but at least it's safe. This... so wrong. And right. At the same time. I know we can't escape, but to just have a glimpse outside. The suppressor will understand. Haven't we been here before? By the gods, everything here looks so similar. It's a damn mag- Oh no. No. Do you see it? All the cells. They're all empty. And there's blood. Oh no. There were people in there just like us. They didn't know their place either, and now they're dead. They've simply dissolved because they dared to disobey the suppressor. By the gods. This is what happened to us too. I knew it was a mistake to leave in the first place. I just knew it. This is so wrong. And right. At the same time. I know we can't escape, but to just have a glimpse outside. The suppressor will understand. Oh no, no! Can't you see? We're back. The suppressor's punishment. It will be horrible. No, you haven't. Because you're blind. The suppressor is here, in every single stone, in every bone. But I should have known. I mean, what can you expect from someone who has killed his entire family? I followed you because for a brief moment, you... Of course I'm a part of you, and you are a part of me. Isn't... No, there isn't. Just look at us. Look at what we are. We are the damned because we are trapped too deeply in the past, and that's why we do not deserve freedom. punishment. It will be horrible. Well, well. So you figured it out? Yes. I am what keeps you in this place. But was it blind rage that made you act, or have you truly understood who I am? Have you understood what drives you and determines your actions? The salt corrodes your skin, and the water filling your lungs is cold. But you still haven't found it, child, have you?
Oh, hey. Good to see you awake. How are you feeling? Good question. The room was empty when I came here. Actually, that's quite weird, now that you mention it. The entire temple seemed kind of deserted. Probably a ceremony or something like that. Now, tell me, how are you holding up? I heard this trial's quite the feat. Apparently some of the novices never wake up again. In the temple, the curarium. You were brought here when you were traveling with that Ixon guy. I think the others are already awake, but I didn't want to leave you here, so I thought I'd just stay. I mean, hey, you are a keeper of the first sigil now, aren't you? I believe congratulations are in order. Well, you shouldn't. Do you know why? Because you're pathetic. Simply pathetic.
I said, you are pathetic. At first we believed it would be more exciting this time. But now that we've seen the new prophet, our hopes are gone. You're a joke.
A nobody who let his only friend kick the bucket.
As if you'd ever accept that. You humans are always so damn persistent, aren't you? Why? Why can't you just let go?
Because in the end, you are powerless, just as all those before you. And you, prophet, you are the biggest joke of all.
You are nothing but an urchin.
A weakling.
And a murderer.
And that is why you will burn. All of you. The cleansing will happen, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. What have you done to us? The world is an interplay of cause and effect, and the only logical consequence of your existence. But enough of the banter, urchin. We wanted to. Now wake up. Keep on stumbling through the mist.
Thank Malphus. I was starting to think I was the only one. How are you? You look exhausted. Of course, sorry. That remark was a little... But it's good to see the Grandmaster was right after. I woke up just a few hours earlier, and he was here in the meantime. He didn't doubt for a single second that you would make it. But I suppose mutual congratulations are in order. We made it. Almost, yes. All that is left to do is to take the oath. Speaking of whom, he also told me some things while you were asleep. About the Pyreans, about these dreams, and of course... This is so bizarre, really. At first we're told out of nowhere that the gods have died, and now humanity is on the brink of extinction. Hard to say. I never had those dreams the Grandmaster talked about, even though I'm magically gifted. But then again, I always had the feeling that the Red Madness was more than an ordinary disease. At least now I can understand why the Grandmaster was willing to break all the traditions of the Order just to get you exalted to be a keeper. According to him, most of our battle against the cycle will stand or fall with you. Yes, I believe that. It's a great responsibility you've been given, and as impressive as your skills are, I would not want to change places with. Well, as I said, we both have to take the Holy Oath. You should talk to the Grand Master as soon as you're ready. He's waiting for you in the... Right. Dunwar. The apothecary examined him about an hour ago, and it doesn't look good. It's likely that he'll never wake up again. He was impulsive, yes. You know, Dunwar was one of those people who tried to gild their insecurity with... The reality is that he was the last of his bloodline, and his faith in the path and his destiny as a keeper were all that he had left. And who knows, but I guess Master Bartar's revelation was just too much for him. It's hard to be told that everything you've lived for was a lie. Well, maybe I just don't show it as much. But yes, in a way, you're probably right. I suppose that's mainly due to the fact that to me, as opposed to Dunwar, the Order always stood for an idea. And an idea doesn't die. Funny that the Grandmaster said nearly the same thing during the exaltation. Dunwar would have considered it blasphemy. That's true. A lot of crimes were committed during the Lightborn's reign, and I don't want to minimize that. But I also think a lot of those crimes were unavoidable. Imagine you're the king of a small island, and one day your realm gets attacked by a fleet. The invasion catches you completely off guard, and within a few hours, the Reavers have advanced to the farmland, just a few feet from your city's main gates. And before you know it, you have to make a decision. Will you use the time that remains to entrench your army within the city's walls to have a better chance of surviving a siege? Or do you send them into the field to fight the Reavers there, knowing that there is only a slight chance to save the farmers, but a big risk that you will lose both the city and the farmers? It would, yes. But what if your foray fails, and ends up being the reason why the Scarab can break through the city's fortifications? Wouldn't that too make you responsible for all the towns? What I'm trying to say is, it doesn't matter what you do. There will be people who will despise you for your... If your attempt to rescue the farmers fails, you will be accused of having acted blindly and idealistically. And if you just... Of course, there's a small chance the foray might work, but should decisions like that really be made as if they were a game of dice? As I said, I don't mean to absolve the Lightborn of their crimes, but I'd wager my left hand that they had a lot of similar decisions to make. I knew the question would come eventually. I suppose the answer depends on whether you're in the mood for some gloomy talk. Sooner or later, you'll hear it from someone else anyway, so why not from me first? As you wish. Where should I start? Maybe with the fact that I don't remember anything that happened before my 6th winter. I don't know where I was born, and I never got to know my parent. I wish I knew. What I do know, though, is that the first memory I have is of waking up in the middle of... It was dark, and I felt... I eventually found the strength to get up and look around, and... well, the entire village. There were corpses everywhere. Men, women, children, and the houses had been crushed as if some mad god had rampaged through. Whatever it was, I didn't have much time to think about it. As soon as I got up, one of them got off his horse, ran towards one of the corpses, and started screaming something in my direction. By the name of the sun, it's strange to talk about it like this. It's been so long, but the memory feels as if it had happened yesterday. It's okay. Anyway, it turned out that the riders were men from the village who had gone. They must have observed the... whatever it was from the distance, and ridden back to the village. At least I think that's how it went. The reason they thought I was somehow involved is that the village priest found me a couple of days before it happened near a shrine in the wilderness. Apparently, I was wearing torn clothing, and no matter what the apothecary tried, he couldn't wake me up from my comatose sleep. And it seems that made the riders think I was some kind of witch child, or unholy beast, whichever you prefer. Probably. Truth be told, I try not to think about it too much. And actually, it doesn't matter, because I somehow managed to get away before they could do anything. I even made it to Ark all by myself, which didn't turn out to be much of an improvement in the end because I was pathless. Yes, thinking about it now, I actually wonder how I made it through my time down there. But maybe that's one. Still, the winters down there were cruel, and if Master Tyrus hadn't found and taken care of me, I probably wouldn't have made it through my Yes, otherwise I wouldn't. He saw me, and he knew what he had to do, is how he put it. Of course, the Order wasn't too happy about a pathless child in the Scuola, just as some aren't happy about you being here. But Tyrus was a highly regarded man, and that's why they let it slide. That's right, we do, but we are both still pathless, and that I guess now you understand why I was never as connected to Malphas's teaching as Dunwar was. To some of the Keepers, I am still an outcast. It does, yes. But then he had lost, so maybe I was some kind of substitute. I don't know. But in the end, it doesn't matter. I owe him everything. He was... Yes. Well, here we've reached the end of my impressive tale. I hope you liked it. No, I guess I'm not. Gone. He was very old, and there was nothing anyone could do about it. But I'd prefer not to talk about it, if you don't mind. He does, yes, and he's not alone. One of those hunters recognized me in the market my first year as a novice, and you can imagine that it was easy pickings for those who were already against my presence in the Order. From then on, they added names to the derogatory stares. Demon Child, Witch, whatever they could come up with. Yes, maybe. You know what's funny? To some extent, I'm glad to be who I am. That way, people just leave me alone, and that gives me more time. But I'd say that's enough of the gloomy stories, don't you think? There will be plenty of time for chatter in the future. Maybe. Yes, all of the Dalmordans fell victim to the great flesh maggot plague of... Actually, it was almost sad to see him running around and boasting about his nobility, though everyone knew that without the help of the Order, he would have... If you can call that living. You should. It's already late, but if you want, I can show you the most important places in the temple before you go to the Emporium. What do you... Good. Then get your gear from the chest by your bed and we'll go. You should reclaim your gear before we leave. Now then, let's go. Yes? Yes?
Thou art my pathlessness wherever you look. Where is this supposed sacrament?
All right, this is the sanctum. It's a place of silence and prayer, and also where we'll be exalted later.
A good pipe of peace weed. Jesus, why is that stuff so expensive?
Walk blessed.
Walk blessed.
Yes?
Ah, there you are. Magister Karus has been looking for you.
Karus? What's that?
Okay, I think you've seen this place before. We call this part of the temple the Chronicum, and in here is gathered the knowledge of the Order, written down in books and parchments. Plus, all of the experiments and research on artifacts and magic is done here, so it's a place you'll probably see often in the near future. Ah, and just below the Chronicum is the temple smithy. You should go there if you need equipment. Over there, that's the Scuola and the quarters, where both the keepers and the novices live. There's also a training room where everything from swordplay to marksmanship can be trained and taught. You will find some skilled teachers there. Well, I think that's about it. You've already been to the Emporium, and I assume to the Eye of the Gods as well. I suggest you speak to the Grandmaster as soon as... Prepare myself, probably. Now walk blessed. I will see you soon.
Now go, before the Magister comes to get you himself. Yeah, I know.
Yes, of course.
But don't
Walk
worry so
blessed,
much.
sister.
I'm certain the Grandmaster...
You're always...
What he's doing. Now go, before the Magister comes to get you himself.
Now, where did I put that?
And you actually believe this could work? It sounds absurd.
I don't believe I know. The mercenary, he might not be the shining knight of Castle Starsound, but he's better than most of your men.
Prophet, good to see you. How do you feel?
You will need to convince your true Chesser of it.
You've never been in any danger. If I had doubted your abilities... In any case, all that is left to do now is to recite the oath. Then we will finally deal with the more urgent matter. None of it, you'll see. The ceremony needs a little preparation. Even if it hurts to lose more time, the cleansing approaches, I can feel it. Just this people I knew, including you. But these people weren't themselves. There was something else, and it spoke through them. I believe that these beings are connected to the cycle. You did? That it must be related to our roles as emissaries. Maybe there is a connection between us. None. Maybe they are demons or magic. In any case, if they are indeed responsible for the cycle, they are our enemies. That's what matters for now. Come back tomorrow for the ceremony. Yes. Why do you ask? They did. What are you getting at? A fair point. But in the future, just be upfront. I do... So, yes, my time in the prison was harsh. The hunger, the degradation, to name the most obvious. Ironically enough, that was the last thing I had expected, you know. From all the suffering there is, it seems so banal. But it isn't. You either find ways... For me, it was memories of the time before my incarceration. The prospect of what would come up. They reminded me that I was more than this deprived creature I had become in those days. Strange. I especially felt that in the cloister with Narazul's mages. I had difficulty talking to other people, and whenever I did, it felt as if the others were like wax figures. Like some cruel joke put in front of my eyes in order to mock me. Better. Our mission, my responsibility here as a leader, it has helped me to find my way back into the real world. What would have been the alternative? A life as a fisherman? If the things I had to live through taught me one thing, then it was how important it... In fact, this is precisely what is missing in the world. People who do not let the whims of fate break their reason. Yes. Good question. In their writing, the Pyreans say it has existed for aeons. Since this world exists, since the sea of eventualities exists, so too then the Pyreans didn't, and neither did the dust. But as for what happened before that, our knowledge about the past is limited. All that matters for now is that the cycle threatens us, and that we have. That depends on whom you ask. In some writings, a better word would be chess figures with their own will. Whatever force causes the cycle also gave us powers and a task. But fulfilling that task is our... No. Well, that is something else we only know in broad strokes. Yours is to read the Echo and help us gain the knowledge we need for victory. How exactly? I do not know. But there are hints. We will see. As I said before, my knowledge about that is limited. But if it helps you, imagine that it is a way of perceiving that which connects us all. Yes. You know, most people perceive themselves as an entity separate from the rest of the world. Dark corners of our mind, bridges to which we in a conscious state do not have access to. But you do not need to be supernaturally gifted to feel that these bridges... A moment where you knew exactly what another person thought or would do next. People with close blood ties can especially feel that connection. Children and their mothers, correct. And while most people hardly feel this connection at all, as if looking through a tinted window, to you it is wide open during your visions. Their bodies might be, but the traces they left behind still remain. Everything that was... This is the basic principle of magic. And time is not a straight line. Visions, premonitions, dreams that become reality. These are all leftovers of waves from other eventualities that spill over into our reality. There have always been people able to read them, but none so good at it as you are. Thanks to the Echo. Walk blessed, Prophet.
Pathlessness, wherever you look. Where is this supposed to lead? Huh?
Walk blessed. Let's hope he knows what he's doing.
Yes, it makes sense.